Good morning and welcome. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK, and it's lovely to welcome you in on what for me here live is a Friday morning in October. So it's right at the beginning of October. We're nearly a week in now. Um, Supposed to be turning quite autumnal, but the weather forecast here over the weekend is to be quite summery. So we shan't know whether we're coming or going, but we won't complain. We'll just enjoy it for now. I'm sure the colder autumnal weather will come. So let me just bring up a few of my screens and bring you up to date in news and who I am and where you can find me. So this is my website, Love-a-Duckie.co.uk, and that's where you'll find all things um, pertaining to my business, whether you're looking for classes, whether you're looking for downloads, whether you're looking for inspiration, links to my shop to buy the goodies that you see me use on these videos, or whether you're looking for some retired things. There's some retired things listed over there as well. So whatever I can help you with, that's the starting place, loveaduckie.co.uk. And while you're there, you can subscribe to my newsletter or to my blog posts, or send me a message or request a catalogue, all sorts of things going on over there. Let's have a quick look at what classes and things we got coming up. So if you are interested, oh, excellent. Good good idea, taking advantage of resting at home to catch another live. Aren't we the lucky ones? So I hope you're feeling a bit better. So upcoming classes, we have Saturday Stampers tomorrow, and we're going to be doing some Christmassy cards at that. And we've got some more Christmas coming up next week with our monthly card club, where we're going to be using the Berry Christmas Suite to create some cute little Christmas cards. So the monthly card club, you create 5 different projects of varying um, degrees of difficulty, using that beautiful suite, and you always have things left over, product left over that you can take home with and continue playing with. Technique class at the end of the month is going to be a festive one sheet wonder using the sparkling snowflakes, and that's what we're going to be having a play with this morning. So that will give you a sneak peek of the stamp set that we're going to be using for that one sheet wonder. So if you are interested, you can have a look and see if you fancy coming and joining us. We've got a mega stamp stack coming up in October, and that is going to be using the Sending Cheer stamp set and bundle dies to create 5 different cards, 2 each of 5 designs, and I still haven't swapped that picture over. And then beginning of November, just under a month away, we've got our retreat. So you can either come and join us in person for a full-on day of crafting and eating and being together and having a great time in Wadnow Village Hall here in Northamptonshire. Or if you can't join us in person, you can opt, if you are here in the UK, to have a retreat in a box. Either of those options are available, and all of those classes you can find details of on my website. Another thing coming up in October, we're October now, Helen, is the Stamp Camp using the Winter Meadow Suite, and that is going to be starting sort of late on the 20th of October all through the 21st of October. So it is 13 demonstrators from around the world. So there's demonstrations going on literally all day, all through the night. But you don't have to stay up all night to catch them. They will be available on replay. So you get to have 13 beautiful projects with a tutorial bundle and the make and take kits to make them, along with the suite that you have purchased, because that's how you get access to it. You purchase the suite, and then everything else comes along with that for free. So yeah, if you purchase the suite, then you can be part of that stamp camp and get those 13 make and take projects with the tutorial bundle. And on top of that, there's 13 further videos with 13 more projects. So you buy the suite and you get inspiration for 26 ways of using it. So great value. Where are we? We're Friday. So tomorrow is World Card Making Day. That's a day to celebrate. So I'm celebrating it in a couple of different ways. I will be doing my Saturday Stampers class. So we'll be stamping and card making together for World Card Making Day. But Stamping Up themselves are also putting on a craft along with them event on tomorrow afternoon, and you can join along with them as well. It is a free event. You can just go along and see what they are creating. And if you have the things or things that you can use, you can craft along with them. Now, you can sign up for that event or you can just join in. So look out for details of that. But that's coming up tomorrow. Couple of other things to highlight. One is that there is the most fabulous joining offer on to celebrate 35 years of Stamping Up this month. Two ways to make the most of that starter kit offer. You can either choose to pay 35% less for your starter kit and get £130 worth of product simply for paying £64.35. That's got to be a bargain, hasn't it? Because by anybody's maths, I make that half price, just under half price. You pay just under £65 and you get double that in product. So that's one way of getting a starter kit. And as I always say, there are no obligations when you join up, no expectations, only opportunities. You can do with that what you want to do, but you get to choose £130 worth of product of your choice, and you simply pay £64.35, and that will get delivered to your door postage free. So that's option one. Option two is you can pay £99 for a starter kit, which is what a starter kit normally starts, and instead of getting £130, you're going to get £175.50. So you are going to get £76.51. Is that right? Yeah, £76.50 worth of product for free, basically. Yeah, you're just going to pay £99, and again, that will come to your door postage free. So whichever way you look at it, it's got to be worth it, because there are no comebacks. If at the end of the day you decide you do not want to continue as a demonstrator after your initial 3 months is up, then that's it. You just go back to being a customer. So if you have a wish list of any sort, then this has got to be worth considering. And lots of people join Stamping Up as a member of the Stamping Up family. They join for the offer, and they stay for the people. And my final slide just goes to show 10 years on, I very much am still staying for the people, although it wasn't just the discount I joined for in the first place. But yeah, definitely stayed for the people. And here I am 10 years later, still going and still enjoying being part of the family. So if you would like to come along and join me and be part of this family, then I don't think there is a better time, really, than now. Now is the time. Even if all you want to do is stash up on your crafty stock, if you've got a list of things in that catalogue that you want to get your hands on and you want to make the most of that special offer, then absolutely reach out and chat to me, and I will we'll see what we can do to get you joined up as a member of the family. Or you can simply just click on the link on my website and join now. It says join the fun, and that's what you can do. Just click to join the fun, and away you go. Just start shopping. Right, so sparkling snowflakes. Let's bring in my downward facing camera, and that's what we've got here. So it is a little collection of snowflakes. Let me just take that out so it's not so shiny, and you can see you've got a big, medium, and small. Got daddy snowflake, mummy snowflake, and baby snowflake. And then you've got like these second background stamps just here that are going to give you sort of, you can either just use them as they are, as a sort of more solid snowflake. If you don't want the really detailed snowflake and you want a more solid snowflake, you've got these, or you can double them up. You can have one as a background and one sort of stamping over the top or slightly at an angle or however you like. So you've got those 6 snowflakes in 3 different pairings. And then we've got some nice greetings there, winter greetings, let it snow, make the season sparkle. And then we've got a for you. For yous are always useful, particularly if you're doing tax and things. So that's the stamps. That's the 10 stamps in this photopolymer set. Obviously photopolymer set because you want to be able to look through your stamps to be able to see where they're being positioned, particularly if you're going to double up on the stamps. You're going to want to see where you're going with those. And then to make up the bundle, you have got this punch. And punches always get a little bit of a shiny background on them. Let me just literally take a bit of scrap card here. It is quite scrappy, not very pretty, but I'm just going to cut that to 5 centimeters or 2 inches wide. Pop that in there. Let's give it a punch, and then you've got this sort of snowflakey top on there, which is rather fun. Makes a great tag, but it also makes a sort of great wrap if you want a wrap to go around your card or a banner to come across your card with a greeting on. So yeah, really nice. Let's just move the punch poo, as we call it, off of the I've not called it that for a little while actually. Move it off to one side and I'll gather that up later. So let's have a little look at what we're going to do with this stamp set. Now, as you can see, I've not played with it yet. There's a surprise. It is in pristine, fresh out of the package condition. So let's have a bit of a play and see where it takes us. I'm going to take the 2 big stamps to start with. So I have got the big, more solid image, and then the more detailed. Is that going to fit on there? Yes, just. Let's bring in some basic white card. And I'm going to bring in some misty moonlight. I've put myself a nice clean sheet underneath, but I've got the tatty one that I just took off just beside me. So I'm just going to use this because I'm going to do some stamping off. I think I'm going to lay my stamp down and I'm going to ink it up like that. Let's stamp off and let's come in on our card. Let's stamp. Now I didn't put my piercing mat under there, but that's okay. It's still stamped quite well. Right, let's see if we can line this up. I'm going to stand up for the job. Let's stamp that over the top. That's rather pretty, isn't it? Got like that 2-tone effect there on that snowflake. I rather like that. Let's come in with a spray on my stamping scrub. And we'll give these a bit of a clean. And I think we'll have some balmy blue. And let's take the next size down. So we'll go in with the medium size. Fit on that block? Yes, it will. As always, you want to try and match the size of your block to the size of your stamp the best you can to prevent rocking. And let's come in with some balmy blue. We'll stamp that off. Stamping that on our card. And then let's ink up the detailed stamp. And again, let's come over the top. You've just got that sort of slight blue shading. Really lovely detail. And then, might come in boho blue. That might be a nice blue to come in with. And not last but not least, let's come in with this smallest block. I don't think we're going to manage to fit this onto the smallest stamp, rather. I don't think we're going to manage to fit this on the smallest block. I've got block thoughts going in my head at the same time as I'm speaking. And let's bring in the boho blue. And we'll start off with solid background piece. That had a little bit of a blob. I might go again with that, I think. Quite a dark blob in the middle. Let's try that once more with feeling. And then line that stamp up. And there we have our 3 different blue snowflakes. Quite pretty. Let me just quickly ink this one up and stamp that one next to that. So you can see the difference. So that's just got that subtle shading around the edge on that one, as opposed to that one. Obviously you could do those in 2 different blues, or it doesn't have to be blue. Who says they have to be blue? Or you could do a background and put some embossing on the top, or all sorts of ways. You could have those 2 colours. Right, let's have a little look. I think I might bring in my deckled circles. Let's see, that one. For that one. I think I've missed one there. That's better, that one. So we'll have that for that one, that for that one, and that for that one. They then fit those quite nicely. Move it out the way for a minute. I'm not going to be able to run those through all at the same time because they will overlap. They fit quite nicely just in there, don't they? Just add some low tack tape on there. Got my large machine behind me. I'll just quickly run that through. And that's the large one. I might get these through together. Let's pinch back that tape. And this one. They just fit beautifully inside those circles. Whether that was a deliberate design feature, I don't know. Or whether it was pure luck. Well, these are two. Pretty, pretty, pretty. That little bit of scrappy bit of white. I don't think we will need that. Right. To take a strip like this. I'll cut that at 5 centimeters or 2 inches. And let's punch the end. Now I might actually take a piece of, which of those colours shall I pick? Let's go boho blue. To make this a boho blue card base, so I'm going to cut that piece of A4 in half and score it in half. And I'm going to cut a strip of this at 5 centimeters. And this white piece I'm actually going to trim down a little bit. To take about 1/4 centimetre from that side and about 1/4 centimetre from this side. So had I started with that card from scratch, I'd have started with a 4 centimetre piece, but I didn't. So we've made this 5 centimetres. Let's punch the end of that. Ooh, obviously made that a smidge too wide. shave that little smidge off. That's better. And I'm going to trim those down in a minute, but we'll have those both layered on top of each other. To take a bit of basic white card. I'm going to cut this to 13.9 by 9.5, I think. Around a little bit. I've got the Snowflakes Sky 3D embossing folder here. This is a new one from the September to December mini catalogue. So can't see that ever so well. Let's see if we pop this card in, whether that will show it up a little bit better. Yes, it does show it up a little better. So you can see that you've got like all the falling snow and then these more pronounced snowflakes. As I say, it is a 3D embossing folder, so let's just pop that inside there. I'm going to run that through my big machine. As always with the 3D, you want your number 1 base plate and you need number 4 plate. And don't need any other plates, just those two. And always make sure you run your embossing folder through hinge end first. Otherwise, you can get a little bit of movement in it, which can, in very rare circumstances, cause your plate to split. And we don't want that happening. Just remembering to pop the embossing plate and my embossing folder back into my basket for my class tomorrow. So you can see that at the top there you've got sort of slight spots, and then as it comes down, the snow obviously gets more and more intense as you come down, or you could turn it round and have it more and more intense at the top, coming down into softer snowfall as you come down, whichever way. I think you can have it this way. This coming across here, about like that, I think. And then we have our snowflakes, which we're going to be able to scatter around. Something like that. I might have this one coming underneath as well. In fact, I'm going to swap those around, have the larger one at the top, this smaller one there. That's better, a bit more like that. Okay, so we could go with a greeting from here. Let it snow, winter greetings, make the season sparkle for you. I've also got here the More Wishes stamp set. This is another one that comes from the September to December catalogue, and this has got these really big bold scripts and things that you can mix and match. So we could have a big Merry and a little Christmas, could have a little Merry and a big Christmas, we could have love to you, maybe wishes, all sorts of things. So this is, as I say, out of the September to December catalogue. There is a similar stamp set in the annual catalogue. Let me just grab that. And that actually does have a happy in it. Let's see if we can find it. Have a flick through, see if we can find this stamp set. And that actually has happy birthdays and things. So you have got a happy in that other stamp set. And there's no reason why you can't mix and match the two and have some happy Christmases if you prefer a happy Christmas. Now, it's one I haven't yet got, but one that is on my list to be able to mix and match, because there's no reason why you can't use this much beyond Christmas. Here we go. So this one has got happies and hellos and birthday and friend and thanks. So you could have a Merry Christmas friend, you could have a Happy Christmas friend, and it is the same script and the same sort of size. So those two, so the biggest wish from the annual catalogue is going to work beautifully with the more wishes from the September to December to do some mixing and matching of greetings to make all sorts of things. So I think we might have one of these on this label because it's a nice big label, and I think we want something a bit bold on there. So I might go, let's have a look. Big Christmas. And smaller wishes. As you can see, they're really big. Bold greetings. So let's pop my Christmas on here. And we've got boho blue in our cardstock, so I think we're going to go balmy blue and misty moonlight. Moonly mist light? I don't think so. Let's have some misty moonlight. I am going to grab, oh, we've gone dual camera. Let's get rid of that. There we are. That's a much clearer image for you. Let's take this tag. Let's take our Christmas and line that up there. Then let's come in with the wishes and the misty moonlight. Now, because this is so much darker, I'm going to be able to take it over the top of the Christmas. Let's take our tag and I'm going to trim it just beyond the Christmas. And we'll take doesn't want to play ball. Let me just dig about. Got a little bit of a pin just here. This one does keep. I didn't have it lying downwards overnight, so they because the glue has a little bit of See, brain dead now. The wonders of being a lady of a certain age. Because of the mix of the glue. So you get that rubbery sort of solution in it that can form a bit of a block in the end of the glue if you don't keep it facing downwards. Right, so there we have a nice Christmas wishes tag that we're going to have coming across here. And then we've got our snowflakes that we're going to have sprinkled around. I think I might come in with some of this balmy blue sparkle ribbon, which is beautiful. It's like a sort of velvety effect ribbon, but has this real sparkle to it. Do we want a bow? Let's try a bow and see. I think that might be a bit chunky. I think I might just fold it and have some coming out at the end there, so almost tag-like. Right, let's get sticking. Did you hear my brain ticking there? Did you hear the whir as I decided what I was going to do? I'm just going to leave this plain white. You could come in with a blending brush and add some blending to the corners if you want, around the edge if you wanted to. Quite like that white. Let's find some dimensionals. I'm going to take some large dimensionals, I think. And let's raise this up. Leave a gap in the center because I want that ribbon to tuck in there. Take these backs off. Morning. Oh yes. Make the most of those odd 10 minutes. Grab yourself a coffee. Bring that right over. No, I'm not, because I want my ribbon. Yes, I am. There we go. Like that. It used to be indecisive. Now I'm not so sure. Let's tuck this under there. I'm going to roll it over a little bit. Make it a little bit more central at the top there. And we'll have this one coming this side. And this one, we'll pop a dimensional under the bottom. Have it lifted up just there. And then let's take some of this ribbon. Have it doubled over like that so that the velvety bit is showing. A couple of glue dots on there, and I'm just going to tuck that underneath the edge of that tag. Such a pretty ribbon. Let's bring in go, I think, with these adhesive backed glitter sequins. Really rather lovely. Bring in a pokey tool. I'm going to take some of the sort of clear glitter ones. That's stuck to my finger. Let's turn that round. Just add a bit of sparkle to the front to go with our sparkly sequins. That will obviously need a white insert and no doubt stamp another snowflake on that. Let's grab this little bit of white just here. Yep, that is 13.9. Let's trim it to 9.5. What have we got? We got one of the little snowflakes just there. Might actually have a little splattering of snowflakes in that corner. That's ready to come inside for that insert. So there we go, one little snowflake card, and that is using both of those snowflakes, stamping the solid one off and just putting the detailed one on the back. I'm going to, I'll leave that piece of card there. I think I'm going to cut myself matte. Going to go 9.5 by 13.9. I like to be able to give myself the option putting another colour behind it, or like we have done with this one, leaving the slightly bigger border as the colour of the card, depending on what card base we go with. Let's clean up these stamps. And I think with this one, I'm going to swap that detailed one onto here. I'm going to take the solid medium-sized snowflake and the large detailed one. I've got 3 snowflakes here. Large detail, medium solid, small detail. And I'm going to grab my Bertha. And, excuse me, an embossing buddy. Let's just go over the top of this white card with that. And what that does is help remove any sticky fingerprints from the cardstock, because your embossing powder will stick to anything that is damp or sticky. So you want to try and remove any fingerprints or stickiness from your cardstock before you start stamping, because otherwise cardstock, the embossing powder will stick to it. Let's come in with the medium one first, I think. I'm stamping this in Versamark. I can just about see it. Obviously you can't very well. I'm going to stamp some of the medium, some of the small. Let's come in with some of the large. So I'm very aware that to you, it probably looks like I've just stamped a whole load of nothing on that piece of card. As I say, I can just about see where I'm stamping it. If you can't, you can always add your embossing powder as you go along. No, little one, I think. Fit in that gap at the top. Right, I'm going to bring in some white embossing powder. No, I'm not actually. I'm going to bring in some clear. At this stage, they won't look very different. Doesn't look as if there's very much left in here. I'm sure that I'll have more than enough to do this card, but I do actually have more. So once you've got your clear embossing powder on, it will just look almost flocked at this stage. Because the powder has that sort of almost got that textured slightly surface on it. Let me just make sure that that is all covered. I think I just need something. This top corner looks a little bit blank, as if it's forgotten. So let's just add a little tiny bit in there. Right, let me just pop the lid back on this box. That probably isn't very exciting viewing, but there are. You can see those snowflakes all grown over the background just there. Let me move that mat out of the way. Ooh, because that won't appreciate having heat added to it. I'm going to heat my gun up a little bit, my heat tool up a little bit. You call them guns, particularly not on social media. Needs to get them flagged up as a not appropriate viewing. And we're just heating that over, and it goes from that sort of flopped look to a background shine. And as always, you don't waft your gun around. You just move it from one piece to the next. And as that melts and turns, move on to the next piece. And as your gun gets hotter, and as your tool gets hotter, and your card gets hotter, the quicker it will turn. Right, so I think that's all looking nice and shiny now as that hits the light. That's really rather pretty in itself, isn't it? If you didn't do anything else with it, just as a background, that's really rather very delicate, very pretty. But I'm just leaving that just a moment, just to sort of cool down slightly, and for that to all make sure that that is no longer melted and sticky. And then I'm going to bring in, what shall we have? I think we'll have some bubble bar. Let's have some fresh freesia, and I think I'm going to go pool party. And I'm going to bring in some trusty brushes. And let's start with some fresh freesia. I am actually going to rip this paper out because I've got my glass mat underneath. Oh, that's my sticky wire. I've got my glass mat underneath, which does just make adding ink a little bit easier because the ink moves around on the glass as well and it doesn't just soak in. So let's come in with some fresh freesia to start with. And as we build up that colour, the snowflakes will sort of pop from the background. And the reason I decided in the end to go clear rather than white was because the white has got a bit of a sort of almost a slight creaminess to it. So by using the clear, the colour that's going to show through is the cardstock underneath it, which was basic white. So we have got sort of those mixture of those more solid snowflakes come in this top corner as well. Add a bit more down here, make that a little bit darker. Right, so there's some fresh freesia. Let's come in with some bubble bar. Just rubbing my brush to make sure. I think the last time I used this brush, it was very burst, which obviously is a much darker pink. So let's just rub off the excess of that. Oh, no, now I've done the wrong colour. That's something down this bottom corner. Blend that over together where those meet. And then let's come in with our pool party. Again, I'm going to give this brush a good rub. I think it may have been Azure Afternoon, the last one that was used on there. Let's come in. And blend those together where they meet. We'll come in up here. And let's come in from this angle as well. Might just bring a little bit of this in. A hint of blue over here. Yeah, it's giving it a little bit more balance. Hello, Hazel. So there we are. So this one, we've used both of those different sorts of snowflakes. So we've got the more solid ones just here, but you see that on their own, even they are looking, they're obviously not as delicate and as detailed as these ones, but on their own, they're still a really good snowflake. So you can just use the solid ones as well as the more detailed. So we've got the big and the small detailed one and the medium size solid one. And we've come in and blended in. So we haven't gone to the traditional colours. We've gone pinks and purples, which is always lovely. Let's have a look. I'll grab it's a bit of pool party card. And there's a bit of fresh freesia. I'm thinking that that looks rather nice combination, doesn't it? So let's do that. Let's have a fresh freesia card base. Now are we going to go portrait or landscape? I quite like landscape, I think. So let's cut ourselves a pool party mat. Now because we're in the UK using A4 cardstock, I'm going to cut that at 14.4 by 10 for this first size mat. If you are somewhere that uses the letter size cardstock, then you're going to want that to be 4 inches by 5.25. And then I'm going to come and I'm going to cut my cardstock in half long ways this way, so 10.5 centimeters. Whiz that all the way down there, swing it round and score at 14.9. Likewise, if it's letter size, then you're going to want that to be 4.25 inches, put your teeth in, by 11 and scored at 5.5. So there's that, and there's that. I've made a very good job of folding that card in half. Let's just make a slightly better job of that. It's better. Now we've got some rather pretty holographic ribbon, the white holographic ribbon there that I think would be rather pretty on there. We'll have some of that coming across there. Where's my ribbon scissors? Just here. Snip that. And then shall we go? Just to find my sheet with the stamps on. I'll go winter greetings for this one, because it would be the nice sort of card that you'd send to somebody that perhaps if you'd got neighbours or friends that don't necessarily celebrate Christmas, but you wanted to send them a card to let them know that you're thinking of them at this time of year as well. And winter greetings is quite a good option. Let's use our pool party, I think. Let me just whip out. I've got so many strips of basic white card. Got a little pot of them just waiting to be used, mainly for greetings. I keep thinking I ought to perhaps create a card where there's lots of embossed strips or something to use a few up. Now let me find obviously it's not just the white that I have lots of oddments of, it's every colour. Let's have a little bit of pool party and we'll give that some backing. And we'll give that a chop. Into, no I'm not. Hold fire 1 second, wait for it, Helen, wait for it. I'm going to stick this to this. Let's try not and get that glue all over my fingers, that's never a good. Let's bring our ribbon round. I want it in the middle. Might bring it slightly down, less than half, I think. Bring in a little bit of tear and tape. What happens on the back of a card stays on the back of a card. I'm just going to use my tear and tape to stick that down there. Bring that across there and stick that there, and that will hold that down. Now let's continue. I could take the back off that tape, but I'm not going to. Let's bring that down there. Let's pop some dimensionals on the back of here. Bring them down slightly below the centre so that they're not sticking to the ribbon, they're sort of sticking over it. Let's position it so we've got a bit of ribbon at the top as well. Now, tempted to come in with the large detailed snowflake. Let's see. I might decide against it, but I think stamp oh, look at that. This is the 2-inch circle punch. We've also obviously got a 2 3/8 circle punch. Oh, come on out. Circle punches are so useful. I have lots that have retired. These ones are current, so the 2 3/8 and the 2-inch are ones that you can get, or even if they are currently out of stock, should be due back in. Nice, isn't it? Let's pop that on. And we'll pop our stamped snowflake onto some all party card. Then I think we'll come into our all our embellishments, and to go with our don't know what went wrong there. I've just lost my screen. Hopefully we're still going. Let's add in that snowflake just there, just seeing if I can get back into. That's better. Here we go. I've just got my screen pop up again. Don't know what happened there. I'm going to bring in this pretty snowflake with an iridescent jewel to go with that iridescent. They're really pretty, these snowflakes, aren't they, Belinda? Yeah, they sort of, you see them in the catalogue and it's just, oh, it's another snowflake. But actually, I think the fact that you get that sort of those options to just have the background, just have the detail, or like we did on our first one, and I'll show you that again in a minute, to double them up and have both, have them sitting on top of each other, is yeah, it makes them really useful, and it's a really pretty punch as well that goes with it. Move that one out of the way for a moment. Let's come back in as we've already got it on a block somewhere, she says. The borrowers have descended. There it is. Let's come back in with this fresh freesia one again. We'll have one coming in the top there as well. So pretty. So as I say, this is the set that I am going to be using for a one sheet wonder class. If you've never come across a one sheet wonder class, we take, I think in this case it'll be a 12 by 12 piece of basic white cardstock, and we use the stamps and things to create our own background, much as we've done here. And then we cut it up and use it to make a whole host of cards, and normally it's about 11. Yeah, so it's fresh freesia. Really pretty, isn't it? So that's just using the stamps individually, and on the background here, obviously I've stamped them in Versamark and coloured over the top of my blending brushes. We'll do a emboss resist with clear embossing powder, and then the other card here, and if you can just catch these snowflakes, you can see that I have stamped off in Misty Moonlight and Boho Blue and Balmy Blue, and then stamped over the top in the solid cover to give you these sort of slightly two-toned snowflakes, but really pretty. So there we have 2 cards, both created using the sparkly snowflake sparkly snowflake with stamps stuck to the king. Extra sticky stamps there. Let's just ease that off. So we've got the sparkly snowflake stamp set, and then the punch is this, battering you. Great little label punch here that gives you this detail here, so it makes it great for if you're doing a wrap around a card, if you're wanting to make a little box of some sort to put little chocolates on your Christmas table. Really useful little punch. So there's 2 cards, 2 different colorways, 2 sort of different techniques and ways of using those stamps, but just to show that it just isn't just any old other snowflake stamp. It's a snowflake stamp that you're really going to want for yourself. Excuse me. That's it. Let's turn that noise off. Okay, well, thank you for joining me, and do sort of leave comments. My birthday month is well into a swing, and so beginning of the month, I don't think I put that slide up. The beginning of the month was my actual birthday, but the end of the month will be 10 years since I joined Stamping Up as a demonstrator. So it is birthday month this month. If you put a comment up on either today's video or Monday's video or both, whether on Facebook or whether on YouTube, I'll put you into a draw, and I'll be doing a draw on Monday for a little thank you for that. But keep following to see what other exciting things we're going to be happening over this birthday month as I celebrate that 10 years, which I know for some demonstrators in the States where Stamping Up is celebrating 35 years is just a mere drop in the ocean. But we're not quite so old here in the UK, So yeah, it's a really exciting month. So thank you for joining me, and I will be back on Monday when we'll be crafting something else. How exciting! Have a lovely weekend.